Hi everyone. In today's video, we will learn about AWS Cloud Formation. What is AWS Cloud Formation? Why we use? What are the key benefits? Let's see the agenda. What is Cloud Formation? Why we need? And what are the benefits? And how it works? What are the use cases of Cloud Formation? What is drift in Cloud Formation and how to deploy a Cloud Formation template? So let's see one by one. What is AWS Cloud Formation? Basically, it allows users to model provisions and manage the AWS, and also it's a cloud by averaging the AWS products like EC2 and SNS, Elastic Block Store, and it's handle the dependencies, and it automatically builds everything in Cloud Formation. And here we can easily update or delete the setup. So let's see the definition. So AWS Cloud Formation is a service that allows user to model, provision and manage AWS and third-party resources by treating the infrastructure as a code, and it helps users build applications in the cloud by leveraging AWS products like Amazon EC2, Amazon Elastic Block Store and Amazon SNS, and it helps to handle the dependencies between the resources, and it builds everything for you automatically and keep it organized as a single stack. If you want to update or delete the setup later, you just change the script or remove the stack. It's like having a blueprint for your cloud infrastructure. The next is why Cloud Formation. Because it's reliable, scalable and cost effective, and you easily track the changes in your infrastructure, and also it review the mechanism for any changes in the infrastructure. So let's see. AWS Cloud Formation is a service that helps developers and businesses to create, provision and manage the AWS resources, build reliable, scalable and cost-effective applications in the cloud. AWS products like Amazon EC2, Amazon Elastic Block Store and Amazon SNS. Avoid worrying about cheating and configuring the underlying AWS infrastructure, and it introduced the code review mechanism for infrastructure changes. It tracked the changes to your infrastructure using a version control system. Let's move to benefits of Cloud Formation. The benefits are automation, consistency and standardization, cost savings, security and scalability. So let's see one by one. Automation. Automation helps to automate the process of creating, configuring and managing the AWS resources. This allows the infrastructure to be deployed quickly, reliably and repeatedly. The consistency and standardization. With AWS Cloud Formation, it is possible to create standard templates of infrastructure stacks that can be used to create identical copies of the same infrastructure. This ensures the consistency in the infrastructure deployment, and it makes it easier to maintain it. The cost saving. AWS Cloud Formation helps to reduce cost by allowing customers to use existing infrastructure template, and also it reuse them across multiple environment. It reduces the cost of designing and deploying the new infrastructure. Next is security. AWS Cloud Formation helps to ensure that all AWS resources are configured securely by using the security policies and rules, and also it helps to protect the infrastructure from potential security threats. Next is scalability. AWS Cloud Formation allows for the quick and easy scaling of resources on demand. This means the customer can quickly and easily add resource to meet their changes need. These are all the benefits. Then let's move to how Cloud Formation works. So Amazon Web Service is the services offered by AWS Cloud. It is mainly used to provision the resources in the AWS like EC2, S3, auto scaling and load balancing, and also you can provision all the services automation within the IAC, means infrastructure as a code. There are how it works means first it create a template, then upload this template and provisioning the resources, stack, change the management, automatic rollback outputs. So let's see one by one what are all doing. So first we need to create a template. You define your AWS resources and their configuration in the Cloud Formation template, that is JSON or YAML. For example, you can specify an EC2 instance, security group, VPC, etc. You can write this template in the JSON or YAML. The next is upload the template. You upload the template to Cloud Formation. You can do the via the AWS Management Console like AWS CLI or AWS SDK, Software Development Kit. The next is provisioning the resources. Cloud Formation reads the template and provision the resources you have specified, and it creates the resources in the correct order and handles the dependencies. For example, you can creating VPC before launching the EC2 instance within it. So in this VPC, it automatically creates the subnets, route tables, and internet gateways also. The next is stack. A Cloud Formation stack is a collection of AWS resources that you can manage as a single unit. Once resources are created from the template, they are part of the stack. The next is change management. If you need to update your resources, you can modify the template and update the stack. Cloud Formation will only change the necessary resources, and it will keep track of the changes to avoid error and conflicts. In automatic rollbacks, if there is an error during stack creations or update, Cloud Formation automatically roll back the changes to ensure the environment is left in a consistent state. Next is, after all this, lastly we get the outputs. The Cloud Formation allows you to define the output values that you can be used by other stacks or retrieved after the task is created, such as the public IP address of an EC2 instance. In this output we mention the desired output what we want, and it can retrieved after the stack created. So the next is use cases of AWS Cloud Formation. The main use cases are infrastructure provisioning, auto-scaling environment, integration with services, and deployment in multiple regions. So let's see one by one. Infrastructure provisioning. AWS Cloud Formation is used to provision the infrastructure, which means as IAC is a infrastructure as a code, and it can be performed multiple times to get exact replicas across all the environments. The next is auto-scaling environment. The infrastructure provisioned using AWS Cloud Formation will always get provisioned with scaling environments, which will help you to scale up and down depending on the incoming load. In this auto-scaling environment, we can scale up, scale down depending on the what incomes load. The next is integrating with services. You can integrate the AWS Cloud Formation with different services like code pipeline, Jenkins, CI/CD pipeline, and so on, which will help you to automate the deployment. The next is deployment in multiple regions. You can manage the AWS Cloud Formation to deploy it in multiple regions, which will help you to disaster. The next is what is Drift in Cloud Formation. So before that, we will know what are the features of Cloud Formation. The features are highly scalable, easy access, lowering operating cost, and it reducing the business risk and maintenance the expenses. The next is what is Drift in Cloud Formation. In Cloud Formation, drift refers to the situation where actual configuration of resources in a stack diverges from the configuration it defined in the Cloud Formation template. In this drift, it refers the actual configuration resources in a stack, and also it configure the template of Cloud Formation. And also this can happen if resources are manually modified outside of Cloud Formation, or if an update to a resource wasn't captured by the template. So update doesn't capture by template of the Cloud Formation. And how it works. So drift detection does not automatically fix the drift resources. It only help you identify where drift has occurred. So in this we can manually work the drift in Cloud Formation. It identified where drift has occurred but does not fix this. Also, it works for most AWS resources supported by Cloud Formation, but there may be exceptions. So many exceptions in this. Then drift detection can be performed at any time, and it's useful for maintaining the consistency, especially in the production environment. And the summary of this is it helps you to resources remain in the state defined by infrastructure code template, and also helps to track manually or unauthorized changes. So the main thing is it's work manually, does not automatically. The next is how to deploy a cloud formation template. Deploying cloud formation template can be done through multiple methods, each catering to different preferences and workflows. The mainly three ways to deploy. The first is AWS Management Console, and then Cloud Formation Designer, and then AWS CLI, means command line interface. So let's see one by one. AWS Management Console. It offers a user-friendly way to deploy the templates. Just simply log in and navigate the cloud formation and select and just create the stack. Then you can upload your template. So you can create it in two ways. One is JSON or YAML. So using this, after creating the stack, you can upload the template and configure the parameters, tags and permissions, and finalize by creating the stack. This method is ideal for those who prefer a visual and straightforward interface. The main is simple to create, deploy, and it's a prefer for visual and straightforward interface. The next is Cloud Formation Designer. For a more graphical approach, the Cloud Formation Designer allows you to visually build or modify the templates using a drag and drop interface within the AWS console. So after creating or adjusting your template, deployment is just click by selecting the create stack. So this method suits user who enjoy visual tools or infrastructure design. So it's like a drag and drop. The next is command line interface, AWS command line interface. After ensuring the CLI is installed and configured, you can deploy your template by running a simple command. So this method is particularly useful for developers who want to integrate deployments in CI/CD pipelines or automate the infrastructure tasks. So there are three ways. The first one is very simple and straightforward. Second one is drag and drop. You can visually tools for infrastructure designs, and CLI is a simple using the simple command you can easily deploy it. So it's helpful for the developers. So this is how we can deploy a cloud formation template. And let's see the demo how it works. So how cloud formation will work with chat. First thing we need to do is we create a template. So open Cloud Formation. Here you define your AWS resources in Cloud Formation template, that's JSON or YAML file. For example, you can specify your EC2 instance, security groups, VPC, etc. And this is in this you need to upload your template. So first let's create template, then I will show you how to upload. So go to Visual Studio. So here I've already created the Cloud Formation template. I will explain this. So this Cloud Formation templates create AWS S3 bucket with the basic configuration. It's uses to parameter to allow dynamic, and contains the S3 bucket name, and it keep track all the objects. Here I will explain you. AWS template version. This line specify the version of AWS Cloud Formation template. Yes, the syntax being used, the version it contains 2010.9 is the most common and indicates the template. It follows the Cloud Formation syntax. The next is description. This slide simple description of what the cloud formation stack will do, or you can give the description what you are doing. So it describes the template. The next is parameter. The parameter section allows a user to provide the value when creating the cloud formation stack. So here it contains the bucket name and the type, which type here I'm using string, the default. So here using the default value. So but user can specify their own bucket name. So here you can give whatever you want to name. The next is resources. The resources section defines the AWS resources that cloud formation stack will create. Here it contains the main bucket. This defines the S3 bucket of type like AWS S3 bucket, and the bucket name, the properties contains the bucket name. The bucket name is referred using the reference bucket name. So this means the name of the bucket will set to the value specified by the bucket name parameter. And the next is versioning configuration. This property enables the versioning of S3 bucket by setting the status as enabled with versioning enabling. The next is output. The output section defines the output value that are returned when the cloud formation stack is created. The section is a typical used for creating useful information like resource names. So here it contains the main bucket name. This output provides the name of the S3 bucket, and it contains the description as name of the main bucket, and it refers the value as a reference main bucket. So this is about the cloud formation template, which one I've created using the YAML file. So let's save this and go to the cloud formation. Here we need to create the stack. Create a stack with the new resource. Here I'm choosing an existing template. Here select the uploaded template file. So we need to choose the file where you created. So choose file. So here the cloud formation. So this one. Choose. Done. So give this next. Here we can see it shows the URL of S3 bucket, as well as I will show you. So here open S3. So here we can see here it's created the S3 bucket. So we are not creating any S3 bucket, but in this cloud formation we create a stack file using the template. So in this S3 bucket also it's created. Let's go to the cloud formation and click on next. Here we need to give the stack name cloud test, and this is the bucket name. So click on next. So on the configure stack, so here there is no change. Click on next and review and template order. So yeah, there is nothing to change. Give and submit. So here we can see So here we can see the bucket is created. Here we can see it's create in progress. Let's wait until it's created. So here we can see it's create completed. Let's go and check in the S3 bucket it's created or not. Go to S3 bucket. Refresh this. Yeah. So here we can see the name we have created the bucket. So this is how we can create S3 bucket using the template. So here this is how can we automatically create the bucket using the Cloud Formation template. The next thing what we need to do is go to Visual Studio. So here we can see we are using the versioning configuration as enabled. We will go and check in the bucket S3 bucket it's enabled or not. Go to S3 bucket. So here go to your bucket which one you have created. Here go to properties. So here you can see so bucket versioning is enabled. So this is how Cloud Formation is work. So and also we can in the template we can disable the versioning or we can add something. We can edit in this YAML file and say the same thing. What we need to do is in the Cloud Formation. So go to the update section. We can update the template file again. So the changes has been updated here. So this is how Cloud Formation will work. So the next is drift detect. So let's go and check how drift detect it works. So click on stack action. Here we can see detect drift. So click on this drift. So here we can see drift detection initiated for this cloud testing. There is also an option. So here we can view the drift results. Here we can see. So here we can see drift status is not checked. It's in sync status. So refresh this. So here also in sync. Let's go to S3 bucket. Here what we need to do is suspend the bucket versioning. Save changes. Save the changes. Bucket versioning is suspended. Go to Cloud Formation. So it's again go to stack. So drift detection, the drift result. So yeah, here we can see drift status it's modified. So the drift status, the stack drift status is drifted now. So drift detection enables you to detect whether the stack actual configuration differs from its template configuration. The status has been changed to drifted. The next is select this, view the drift details. So here we can see the ID type and drift status, the last drift check. So here we can see the drift changes not equal. It's not equal and it's expected the enabled version, but currently it's in suspended value. So this is how drift works. So let's go to stack. Yeah, then go to S3 bucket. Here we need to edit. We need to enable this version. Save the changes. So yes, it's enabled now. Let's go to Cloud Formation and detect the drifts. Now we can view the drift result. So refresh this. Yeah, here we can see. So once we are enabling the S3 bucket, the drift status will change. It's in in sync now. So let's go inside, view the drift details. So here we can see there is no differences. So when it's enabled, there is no differences. So this is how drift works. So this is all about the cloud formation. How can we create, using the template, how can we create the S3 bucket automatically, and how the drift work in the cloud formation. So this is all about the today's video. Thank you.